My name is Charles Bernstein, and I'm from the enclave called the Deep Upper West Side. It's an ethnic enclave in the northern part of Manhattan Island. I have never been to the great state of Iowa. Often wanted to come here, and so it's a great pleasure to finally arrive. It's particularly inspired by the wonderful political tolerance of the people of Iowa, and particularly over the last couple of years, the action of the Supreme Court here to allow civil rights for people of different sexual orientations. It seemed to me that this was just a wonderful thing, and I really wanted to come to the place that had such wonderful judges and the community that supported those judges. So the opportunity I've had here is to give some readings and talks at the Iowa Writers Workshop MFA program, where I'm a guest this week. The question that my readers ask me most often is really hard to pin down. So many different people have different reactions. I think probably just the fact of poetry itself and as an art form, and that somebody would do that, and why it's possible and how it might work and how it exists in our culture, because there's a lot of people who know a lot about poetry, and they would have a specific set of issues, almost like political in a sense, or theological. People outside of it sort of don't know about it, and if they sort of discover it, it's like dropping into a cavern in the Raiders of the Lost Ark. You see all the stuff you didn't know existed. You're sort of startled that there is such a developed and elaborate world in American poetry. So I think people from outside poetry are really surprised and interested in the whole fact of its density and its contentiousness and its richness. People inside are more interested in technical and partisan and political and aesthetic agonism, struggle, conflict. My work is very concerned with wilderness. I grew up, as I've just told you, in the wilderness of the Deep Upper West Side. And in order to recreate that sense of wilderness, I like to be deep in the sea. Our water, our oceans are among the last really untouched prime wilderness we have on the Earth's surface. So I like to go, 400, 500, 600 feet below the surface of the water, in mid-ocean if possible, Pacific, Atlantic, especially in a specially designed capsule. The one limit is that I'm not able to get Wi-Fi there, and so much of work is connected to being connected that when I am deep underwater, I'm not able to have the internet access. But that's the place where I do almost all of my work. I'm seeking to include a greater amount of absence, blankness, and nothingness in my work. And as long as I write it, I'm unable to really achieve the full effect that I have in mind. I have had installed lithium-ion batteries, which now will go for up to a week. So I turn them off at night, and then when I get up, I kind of restart them. But the problem is that when they're off, then often I'm not able to have the energy to turn them on again. So this is really another way of understanding the environmental problem I have. So I'm hoping to be able to really maybe set the low energy use, high energy use, so that really just like blinking my eyes a couple of times and so on, I can change the modulations of the battery. But it's a good question. I mean, I just use electricity in my apartment. I just plug right into the electrical outlet, AC. And we have new circuit breakers were installed about 20 years ago, so it's not one of these fuse situations. But it is true that sometimes at night when I have a brainstorm, the circuit breaker does go, and that then I'm not as charged. But I usually have enough residual energy to, overcome that and just kind of charge again later. Absolutely. I think that writing is an entirely transcendental thing that connects me up with the cosmos, not really so much human beings. For me, all the beautiful bells of Iowa City, this is what I heard so much about. For me, my greatest communion is with fish. And I think my poetry, that's what you said about readers, I don't relate so much to human readers, but my sense is that if we think in kind of galactic time, that ultimately what I'm doing will be of greatest appeal to fish. And this kind of, I know it must sound odd to you because this may not be, what people are talking about so much here in Iowa City, but for me, this really transcends a normal material, social, and historical understanding of what's possible. For me, the impossibility of poetry is really for my work to have an immediate and visceral effect on fish.